Hey, Deck It Out DIYers, let's dive into our December tray, all things Christmas. So in your kit, you will have paint colors, red, green, white, and silver, and then you will have your assortment of pieces. Remember to keep the tape that I attach your project with because we're gonna use the tape to put the smaller pieces on to paint. At the time of this video, there is gonna be a slight modification. We are going to add letters to go on top of this. So once this is painted, then you're gonna take your letters, paint those, and then glue them on top. But I will show you how that kind of works when we do this mini sign and this mini sign. So there will be a little bit of a modification, but not too much. So happy holidays. Thanks for joining us. Let's dive in. I'm gonna start with some of our bigger projects that, what I mean by that is it's a solid back with just one word on top. With these projects, you're simply going to paint them however you want that background, and then you will paint this however you want that. I'd recommend putting it on your craft paper if you want. This is one of those situations where it's a larger cutout. You don't need the tape, but sometimes we like the tape. So you could stick it to the tape and then hold down the tape instead of holding down the word when you paint. So let's just take a look at how we would paint something like this. Okay, my vision for this is a white background with the red joy. So I'll take my sponge, put a little bit of paint on, always dab off excess paint, and then I'm just going to simply dab. Now with the red, you will probably want a couple of coats. So it's always good to just do a nice thin coat and then come back after it's dry and do another nice thin coat. Because I'm going to do my background a solid white, I will be painting my snowflake red as well. If you wanted to get some glitter, you certainly could and add a little sparkle to your tray decor. But this is really how you're gonna be painting all of your cutouts and all of your letters. Okay, so dab it off and then dab. Okay, so you'll repeat this process for the entire word. I'll do that in a moment. Then when you're painting this, just use your sponge. You don't need to be too careful. You can have a solid amount of paint on there. And then the technique I like to use and tell people is pull it off the side, but try not to drip it down the side because the side is burnt, so it's a clean edge. You don't need to cut it, you don't need to paint it unless you want to. So you can just get some paint on your sponge, and I start in the middle and I kind of just work outwards. Okay? So that's how you'll paint majority of your projects. Okay, now that all of my pieces that I needed to paint a solid color are done, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how to paint these pieces that have the letters that go over, and then how to keep some of these outlines so that you can see it. So I'm gonna make my tree green, so I'm just gonna not have a ton of paint on, but have enough, okay? And I'm gonna dab. And when I dab this way, you can still see the lines where I'm going to glue the words on. So if I were to take a glob of paint and just pull the sponge all the way across everything, I would fill in those grooves more. So not using a ton of paint and using the dabbing method will allow you to still see where those words are so that you can better align them when it is time to glue. Okay, so I want you to follow this process for the remaining projects. The one project that it might be a little bit different will be the snow globe, but we'll touch on that in a few minutes. Okay, let's take a look at this project. So this is the snow globe. You're going to paint this background whatever color you would like. I'm going to paint it white, okay? And so not a lot of paint at all. In fact, I'm just gonna dab off any extra paint that I might have. And now I'm just gonna go really light over the snowflakes because I want them to be subtly there. So I'm just gonna go really light. Now, if you fill it in more than you want, use an X-Acto knife or use a not a Q-tip, a toothpick fairly quickly after you paint and just kind of run your pointed end, the sharp end, along those grooves. And then voila. You could also take a small marker or I don't know, little paintbrush and paint the snowflakes if you wanted them to pop a little bit more, but I'm okay with them being in the background subtly, okay? Then I did paint the large snowflake. I was gonna put that there, and then over the top of it is the number 25, which this particular piece you could use all of it or use some of it or none of it, okay? So this particular project piece for the tray is kind of up to you with how you'd like to lay it all out. Okay, so I painted this. I didn't paint the bottom because it's gonna go over the top. And then we'll come together when all the pieces are painted to glue everything together. Okay, I wanted to share a couple of modifications that were gonna happen specifically to this project. We're going to connect the letters for this part. Okay, we're gonna connect, actually, okay, we are in the final stages of this project. I'm loving it, and I hope you are too. So what you just saw was me laying out all the pieces to make sure I had them all, and to make sure they fit where they need to go before I grab the glue. The glue is super glue, so it will glue your fingers together. It will glue your fingers to whatever the glue is on and you touch. So you wanna make sure that you're keeping it on the project pieces and not on your skin. And then you don't need a whole lot, but you need enough to get into those spots. I just do like bigger areas. And then for like these circles for Merry and Bright, you gotta just plop them on wherever you would like them. So maybe you did a little bit more of a design on yours. Fit those together the way you'd like. And you're just gonna repeat this process, gluing all of your words and your designs down onto their project backer. Okay, so I'm just loving this. For this tree, I'm gonna glue it down. Now, just a reminder, we're going to have letters that go on top. I'm probably going to paint my letters white I just think they'll pop a lot on there. And then this is the stand for the tree. And so how that goes together is you glue this outside. Now I don't paint any of my stands because then I can use them on future trays, but you are more than welcome to do that. So it just kind of goes on like this. Okay, and then your tree will fit right in there. So continue gluing and then we'll wrap up. All right, Deck It Out DIYers, we did it. I don't know about you, but now I am singing the song, It's the Most Wonderful Time of the Year. But I hope you had a great time with this project. Your trays will look awesome. Remember to just put the twine through the top. We'll have really cute twine. It's red and white. And then these projects you can display however you want on your tray. This